what was the hardest part about it?
Yeah, there were a few challenges. So we were using the role tailored client for Nav, which officially went out, I want to say in either 2017 or 2018, and that is all our users were used to using. So
Okay.
going from Nav to Business Central, you have to then move to the web client, which is a totally different, graphical user interface than what the desktop client used to be.
Yeah.
And so, I had to force every department to sit in a room with me for 1 to 2 hours a week at least before we went live, just to show them how it worked, make sure that they were adequately trained, make sure they knew how to do their job. Because, management was very skeptical at the time of us making such a large jump from, NAV 2017 all the way up to Business Central 20,
Yeah.
and just maybe confusing people, disrupting day-to-day operations with a new software system and things like that. But I think training was difficult. There was some user adoption, where people didn't really necessarily want to make the change, in departments. But
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the biggest pain points. And then I think the other two was just generating that test plan that I've talked about before. Is, I had spent so much time with all these different departments. I knew all the documentation and paperwork that, had to go into validating the system once we did the upgrade.
Hmm.
And so I ended up having to go through and document every single mouse click essentially on how we needed to test the system and show that, those tests actually passed, once the system was ready for go live. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
between the training and all the documentation, I think that was probably one of the hardest parts that I kind of overlooked at the beginning. I didn't think it would be that hard because, sure, it's software. You can just click install or upgrade and it should work, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so no, I mean that one of the hardest parts was definitely just making the time to go through and doing the training and all the documentation.